Hello everyone! I'm Nami Tadeo, CEO and founder of Azuki Scrub. This Sunday, i-reveal ko na kung ano ang benefits ng Azuki Scrub and I will share with you guys paano maging reseller ng magandang product ito. Kaya wag palagpasin this Sunday, 2 p.m. sa EntrepRadio Online sa VJ8 Radio. See you there!
2020 was the year we all looked forward to. It's the start of a new decade. It's the year of perfect vision. Or so we thought. And then the pandemic happened. Now, 2020 has become the year that ushered in the new normal. But in spite of that, here in Creative Voices, we believe it's still the perfect year for your voice to be heard. This is Creative Voices 2020. Bigger, bolder, better. And yet still and always the home of the best Filipino voiceover artists. We provide a pool of hundreds of voice profiles. Male or female, young or mature, calm or energetic. In English, Tagalog, and other Philippine dialects.
Tuloy ang kwento. Padayon ang istorya.
Ituloy ti istorya.
Telestoria continua.
Isundo may istorya.
Padagos lang ang satuyang istorya.
Padayon ang imo nga sugilanon.
Tuloy ang kwento.
An online platform for selecting, booking, and obtaining the perfect voiceover for your commercial, movie, corporate video, e-learning, telephone system, etc. You name it, we voice it. State-of-the-art recording studio, equipment, and software for a guaranteed crisp and clear audio quality. Online workshops on voice acting, home studio setup, and audio editing. We have produced over 2,000 graduates from VoiceWorks, our popular voice acting workshop since 2005. And the pandemic is no reason to stop. Vision 2025 to be the leading national network of young Filipino voice artists and creative voices. Mission to provide developmental opportunities and platform that empower young Filipino voice artists in every corner of the Philippines to use their voices to promote positive social change. Adapt, adopt, adept. We create a culture of giving, sharing, loving, and caring. And disrupt the culture of selfishness, greediness, and ungratefulness. We give every unheard and aspiring Filipino voice artist an opportunity to rise above the noise and be heard. Be part of the new normal created by Creative Voices 2020. Join Certified Voice Artist Program. Creative Voices 2020 Vision 2025. Creative Voices Productions. www.youtube.com/thevoicemaster. #VoiceFromHome. Dahil basta boses, creative voices.
Hear the voices of greatness on the World Wide Web. VG8 Radio, the voices of greatness.
Narito na ang inyong bagong magiging Sunday afternoon habit sa VG8 Radio. 2 oras ng inspiration, motivation at empowerment sa makabagong paaralan ng buhay sa online world.
EntrepRadio Online.
Invest early in life and be an entrepreneur. Ito ang susi sa inyong tagumpay. Matuto ng mga tips, techniques at best practices sa pagsisimula ng negosyo.
EntrepRadio Online.
Kasama ang inyong mga business voicemates na sina Rene, the Envoy Storalda, at Faith, the Voz Pastrana. Sila ang gagabay upang maging fun, meaningful, at successful ang pagsisimula mo sa negosyo.
EntrepRadio Online.
Tuwing linggo, 2:00 hanggang 4:00 ng hapon sa VG8 Radio. Powered by Pocholo Academy, Creative Voices Productions, Creative Sound Studios, Voice from Home, The Voice Acting Project, and The Voice Master Channel.
EntrepRadio Online.
Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Narito na ang programa para sa makabagong Filipino entrepreneur. Makakasama niyo kami tuwing linggo, 2:00 hanggang 4:00 ng hapon para sa usapang punong-puno ng kaalaman sa pagsisimula ng inyong pangkabuhayan.
We inspire greatness, excellence, and success in every Filipino entrepreneur. Dahil dito sa EntrepRadio, may puso ang pagnenegosyo. Kaya Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, isang maganda at maaraw na hapon sa inyong lahat mga ka-Entreps. Hatid namin sa inyong 2 oras ng information, inspiration, motivation, and empowerment para sa makabagong Filipino entrepreneurs. Welcome to EntrepRadio Online, the voice of Filipino entrepreneurs. Yeah, and make sure guys to like and follow our page. It's EntrepRadio page to see more informative content about entrepreneurship. This is made specially for Filipinos.
And we encourage you to interact with us by asking your questions in the comments section. So just type away mga ka-Entreps and stay with us until the end of the show for a chance to win a prize just by typing our Entrepedia tips. So, kamusta ang weekend natin, partner? Marami na yata nangyari this
Oo, busy tayo, diba? Busy tayo dahil ang daming nag-birthday. Eh, ngumiti yung puyat.
Pati ako, medyo may side effect pa yung mga happenings. No? So,
ayun, ang dami kasi ng birthdays. So, ito na nga, i-take natin tong chance na kahit belated happy birthday to all our CVAs na nag-celebrate na nung December. And yung mga magsi-celebrate pa. Today, I think it's JM Salamat's birthday. Tama?
And of course, happy birthday na rin dun sa iba pang mga celebrants natin for December sa CVA family.
Oh, and one actually celebrator is from EntrepRadio, 'di ba? Si Pau, dalawa, si Pau at saka si Sir Jeff.
Sir Jeff, tama. So yeah, we have two celebrants from EntrepRadio. Regarding our meron pala tayo sa Entrepedia, we have a guest later on kasi he's going to share financial knowledge, no, paano and bakit. So the Entrepedia tips will be for later na lang during our second guest.
Our guest will take care of the Entrepedia tips.
Yes. So let's get on to it. Pakilala na natin ang ating first guest.
Ang first guest natin, partner, sobrang ganda. Para tayong para tayong may kasamang beauty queen today. Ayan. And very, very suitable yung product niya, di ba? Kasi it's a beauty product na na ikukwento niya sa atin kung ano yun and how to be a reseller. Ayan. She's half Filipina, half Japanese. And right now, she's in Japan. Sana may tour naman, di ba? Sorry, what?
Hindi. Kasi ngayon sa Japan, winter na sigurado sa December. So talagang malamig.
Oo. Baka naman pwede tayong mag-look out the window and see the snow kung may snow na, ha? Ayan. So let's welcome Miss Nami Tadeo.
Here we go. Hi, Miss Nami. Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Naririnig niyo po kami. Can you hear us?
Ay, nakamute yata siya.
Para nakamute kayo. Yan.
Hello everybody.
Konnichiwa. So yan, si Miss Nami. Miss Nami, could you for our viewers, could you share with us your name and your company?
Medyo nawawala po kayo.
Hala, baka na-misplace, Miss
Yes,
Nami.
okay po. Anyway, I'm Nami Tadeo, CEO and founder of Azuki Scrub. So,
can you tell us something about Azuki Scrub as a company? Kailan niyo siya ginawa? Kailan siya nagsimula?
actually, nilaunch namin yung Azuki Scrub. Ito lang, September 18 this year. So,
This year.
namin. So, ang different kasi ng Azuki Scrub is hindi masyadong alam na natin dyan na parang pag gusto natin parang magkaroon ng glass skin like cookies Haponesa, cookies Koreana, ganyan. So, minsan na kailangan natin gumamit ng maraming products, ganyan and all. Pero itong nagawa namin yung scrub na to kasi like for example, ako nagmamadali ako ganyan or tamad ako magdali ng kung ano-ano sa face ko. So, ito, mag-scrub ka lang. You just need to exfoliate your skin to get that glass skin. And ang maganda dito sa scrub na to, which is first siya in the market, meron siyang Azuki, the red bean na dito namin kinukuha sa Japan. So, pag ginamit mo siya, instant, in just one wash, magkakaroon ka ng baby skin.
Yun.
So, yun yung special doon.
Gusto ko yun, baby skin.
Ako, okay lang ako. So, anong palang nagpa-start sa inyo niyan? Bakit niyo siya nasimulan? What anong reason?
Actually, bago ko sa kaumpisahan, may dati kasi akong business. And last year lang yung Sticks Loklok and Grill. Restaurant siya. And yung concept niya is also first in the Philippines. Like, everything on sticks, lahat ng food, iloloklok mo, ididip mo sa soup. Nag-start yun last December lang. So, sad to say, me and my partner plan to close it because we close it na lang kasi pandemic, alam niyo naman yung dyan sa Pinas. So, imbis na, syempre masakit sa akin nun kasi kaka-open mo lang. Pero imbis na mag-give up ako or iiyak ko yan, so sabi ko, di ba nag-lockdown dyan sa Pinas? So sabi ko, ano pa yung magandang maging business na nasa bahay ka lang, online lang, di mo kailangan ng pwesto or ganun. Since lockdown, tayo naman lahat, parang na-haggard, ganyan, di ba? So naisip ko, mag-beauty product na. So yun, naisip ko, scrub yan. So doon nag-start yun.
Pero yun nga, no? I mean, you started a business before the lockdown hindi naman natin alam na mangyayari, no? Tapos, so ano po nangyari dun sa business? Yung una nyong ginawa?
Wala na, close na siya. Kumbaga, mas magpo-focus na lang muna ako dito sa kasi hindi natin alam kung kailan babalik yung normal nating pamumuhay, di ba? So kahit i-open namin siya, parang lahat pa rin tayo, parang takot pa rin tayo lumabas or kumain sa ganun. So sabi namin, sa i-close muna natin. Ganun. Pero maganda sana yung potential niya. Kasi sa second month pa lang namin, marami nang gustong mag-franchise. Nagpagawa na nga ako ng papel nun as in may or na akong magpa-franchise dapat. Tapos biglang nag-lockdown. So yun, sayang.
Well, at least kung nandito naman na din yung Azuki Scrub, this may be a better alternative talaga, lalo na consumer talaga to, mabenta yan sigurado, lalo na kung kayo pa yung endorser, di ba?
Ay, opo. Saka sobrang
at saka sobrang okay. Teka, eto si partner Faith mo kung may tanong.
Wait lang. Wait lang, may nakita akong nag-message sa sa comment. May nakita akong nag-message sa comment, sabi ni Kate De Vera, great day Miss Faith and Sir Rene. Ha ha ha. Bakit kaya may ha ha ha?
May alam to may tama pa.
Ayun. Ang gusto kong malaman, Miss Nami, di ba, it's called Azuki Scrub. What is Azuki? I think you've mentioned roughly kanina, pero let's just emphasize on what is Azuki and why is it so special?
Azuki means Japanese red bean. Yung red bean. Di ba dito kasi sa Japan, nung panahon pa ng mga geishas, ganyan, di ba, minsan kapal ng makeup nila, ganyan. So, noon, kung ano kasing kinakain nila dito, naniniwala sila na outside, ganun rin. So, yung red bean is, marami siyang, marami siyang mabe-benefit dun ginagawa nila dun is parang, inidikdik nila tapos i-scrub nila sa face nila. Noon kasi nila ginagamit yun. And sa lahat ng beauty product dito sa Japan, meron silang sapon. Yun yung pinuproduce ni Azuki. So, almost lahat ng Japan product based Azuki.
Ano ba yung partner na ba yung red bean? Yun ba yung munggo or different? Ano ba yun?
Nasa halo-halo ba yan? Parang wala yata.
Nasa halo-halo ba yun?
Or sa Japan lang yata available kasi.
Hindi niya tayo naririnig. Hello?
Yan, okay na po.
Ayan.
Okay.
Yun ba yung
Nasa halo-halo po ba yung Azuki?
Oo.
Actually, yes. Yung red bean na yun. Yun.
Okay. Masarap siya. So kung nagugutom ka pala, kunyari na lockdown ka, wala ka na makain.
May pang-scrub ka na, meron ka pang pagkain.
So pag nagkamali ka, medyo nalagay mo sa bibig mo, okay lang. May may comment pala dito from Miss Maria Garcero. Sabi niya, "Hi po, I'm an Azuki scrub user." So meron po kayong dito, fan.
User.
And from Miss Pao Castillo of EntrepRadio then. Sabi niya, "Miss Nami, so pretty." Ayan.
Hindi niya tayo
Bakit
naririnig.
Nag-internet problem siguro.
Itong mga comments, parang may comment ulit si Pao.
Miss Faith and Sir Rene looking great this Sunday. Diba? May alam din tong isang pa. Okay.
Okay,
Ayan, Miss Nami.
so, ayun, ginawa tayo. Miss Nami, narinig niyo po kami. Yan. Tell me how, the business is very new, diba? It's very new. It started this year, September, during pandemic season. Pero, where do you think and how do you envision it in the near, like, for another year or the next years to come? Talagang yung lalamunan ko. Ayun po. Yan, Miss Nami. Ano pong na-envision niyo for Azuki Scrub?
So far po sa ngayon, meron po kaming 13 distributors na in span of like 2 months. Lahat po halos na mga reseller ng distributors namin, lahat po yan gumamit. Sila po yung nagsabi mismo na parang, uy, pwede bang magandang startup siya and maganda talaga yung product. So, meron po kami community and it's called Azuki Kawaii. So, parang po kami family ng Azuki Kawaii. Like, for example, kailangan nilang ng mga materials for marketing purposes, we try to help them po. Ganon. So, parang team po kami dito. Ganon. So,
Azuki Kawaii.
yes.
Oh, do you have other products na plan nyo to or focus muna talaga sa sa scrub?
So far po, ito pa lang po yung nalalabas naming scrub. Pero siguro after 6 months ganyan, balak rin po namin maglabas ng another scrub, pero pang morena po yung scrub.
Okay.
Pang morena.
So, may variation ng maganda yun, no?
Oo, actually, maganda yun. Kasi specific dun sa
And then,
Miss,
namin is, lahat po yun may Azuki.
Yun talaga yung Teka. Nasaan na? Okay. How about yung partner ikaw yata to?
Siguro actually, can we show the product? Ang daming fans ni Miss Nami. Tingnan mo. Hindi niya yata tayo naririnig. Sabi ni Cristel, Feliz Nino, Miss Nami is so beautiful.
Ito yan.
Ayan. May isa pa pala. Before that was, great day, Sir Rene and Miss Faith. Kilala ko tong mga nagko-comment.
Mga gising na yan. Ito partner, meron pang isa partner.
Sige. From Maria Garcero, Azuki Scrub. This is the best one I've tried so far. That's why I'm selling Azuki Scrub. Oh. So, isa siyang dating user, naging reseller.
Hi, Maria Garcero. Ano po siya? Siya po yung sa Mindanao area. Yung nag-handle.
Oh, wow. Yun, no? And she's watching now. Thank you for watching, Miss Maria. We'd like to, kung may mga questions kayo for Miss Nami, just post sa comments, no? Para we can ask. Ito, sabi ni Miss Georgette. Sir Georgette. Miss Nami is kawaii. Kawaii desu yo. Hi. Ito, may tanong from my sa boss ko yan.
Kailangan itanong mo to.
Oo. Is it hypoallergenic?
Yes po. hypoallergenic po siya. Kasi ako po sensitive yung skin ko actually.
Kaya tama rin yung product nyo is magagamit nyo kasi mahirap
And
nga
hindi
naman
lang po siya
yung
pang
product.
babae, pwede rin po siya sa lalaki. Actually, marami pong umu-order rin sa amin ng mga lalaki.
Talaga ba? Mukhang madodoble yung order namin dito sa bahay kung gano'n. Okay.
Ayan, sinasagot
Miss
tayo
Nami.
actually ng yung sagot actually nasa comments din. Sabi ni Miss
Oo.
Maria Garcero, yes, it's suitable for all skin types. Ayan.
Ayun, no? So, yung mga taga Mindanao dyan, just look for Miss Maria Garcero, no? Para you can avail yourself of Azuki Scrub. Miss Nami, as CEO or essentially founder, yun na nga, no? Kayo talaga yung nag-head ng company, no? Ano po yung mga duties and or responsibilities nyo? Ano po yung mga ginagawa niyo as the CEO, di ba po? As the founder of Azuki Scrub. Ano po, can you tell us or can you share with us ano yung mga ginagawa niyo?
Actually, meron po akong partner, hi Debbie Gabriel, nanonood po siya ngayon. Dalawa po kami nag-handle niyan. Since nandito po ako, operations siya po dyan sa Pinas. Sa marketing po ako mas nagpo-focus. Ako po rin yung, kung makikita niyo yung page namin and Instagram, ako po yung nag-edit doon and all, yung po posting. Tapos, distribution, pares po namin hinahandle. So, all around rin. Yun po.
Mabigat yung yung role din talaga. Hindi kasi yung mga
Pwede ba natin ipakita yung Pwede ba natin ipakita yung product?
Ay, nako, teka.
Meron din yatang actual product si Miss Nami with her right now.
Yan, oo. Miss Nami, baka may kayo?
Ibaon ako, hindi pwedeng mawala yan. Ito po siya, pero So,
that's the product, okay.
Yeah, it's for 420, 180 grams po siya.
Mm-hmm.
So, ipapakita ko po yung loob. Mga order po kasi sa akin to yun. Hindi ko pa nadadala sa Gifu. So,
ayan, may unboxing tayo.
Yan. So, ito po siya. Tapos, may enjoy yung pagligo kasi sobrang bango. May milk siya, milk flavor, tapos aloe vera. Ayan, yung may mga Azuki bean. Ayan. Nakikita niyo po yan. Yung po yung Azuki.
Mm-hmm.
So, sa small amount lang po, mag-scrub lang kayo. Pakikita niyo na yung effect. So, ito, usually, naglalas siya. Siguro mga 6 to 7 washes. So, sa akin
Ilan daw? 7 washes? Tama ba?
7 washes.
6 to 7.
6 to 7 washes.
And,
ayan po, may comment din.
Recommend po, twice a week lang po siya kasi pag over-exfoliation po, hindi rin po maganda sa skin yun.
Twice a week. Okay.
Twice face and body siya.
Oo. Miss Nami, may question dito. Sabi niya, how to use it? Oo. Parang kailangan natin ng demo.
Actually, ang pag-scrub, normally, parang pag maliligo ka, di ba, gagamit ka ng mga soap or pag may mga nilalagay ka sa katawan mo, ako kasi pag naliligo ko, may soap ako, may moisturizer ako, ang karamihan sa atin kasi inuunang mag-scrub. Pero ang proper way po ng scrubbing is pinaka-last siya. After mo malagay lahat ng nilalagay mo sa body mo, ito yung pinaka-last. So, bago ako matulog minsan sa face, yan. Actually, sa akin kasi minsan ginagawa ko rin siyang Pero wag na po gawin sa akin lang to. Ginagawa ko po parang facial wash, ganun. Kasi pag gumigising po ako, ang nabibigay po ni Azuki is dewy skin. Pag-gising mo, fresh ka kagad. So, yun po.
Mm-hmm. Ganun dapat ang gamit. May questions pa kayo, mga viewers?
We have a question from Jojit Fedelin. Ayan, sabi niya, Miss Nami, paano nako-convince ang Japanese customer para bumili ng product niyo? Di ba sila meticuloso sa pagpili ng beauty products?
Actually, dito po sa Japan kasi talagang sobrang, yun nga po, matikuloso po silang mamili ng product. Kaya, wala po silang scrub halos dito. Puro powder, ganun lang po. Ito po kasi, yun nga po sabi ni Maria, any skin type po pwede siya. So, kahit ako po kasi nung ginagawa pa lang po namin ito ng formulator ko, ng chemist ko, ako po sobrang sensitive ng skin ko. So, sa akin pa lang po, na-try ko na siya, okay po siya. Hindi po ganun ka-harsh or ano. And yung grains po kasi neto is, meron po tayong mga big grains, diba? So, eto, yung salt and sugar po siya. Usually, pag salt po, diba, malalaki po yung grains. Eto, as in, pinapino po talaga siya namin, yung salt. So, hindi po siya harmful. Yan, sobrang Yan po.
Tapos directly na siya, no? Yung powder mismo na, hindi na siya kailangan ihalo with anything, hindi na kailangan lalagay sa tubig or ano. Directly na.
Diretso na. After mo buhos ng water, ganyan. Yan, start na, ganyan. Tapos banlaw, yun na siya. Okay na ka.
Oh, okay. Tapos isang size lang din po siya, no? Yung packaging niya. Isang size lang siya, 180 grams lang siya. Ano yun?
Yes, po,
180 pesos pala.
Po.
So wala pa kayo yung kunyari galon kasi kunyari gusto mo talagang lumublob sa scrub.
Gusto ko yun. Gusto kong lumublob sa scrub. Ayan. Miss Nami, may question ako. Kasi syempre, you're a mother of 2, diba? Tama ba? You're a mother of 2. And you're also working. Tapos you have a business. You have Azuki Scrub. How do you manage your time? Siguro you can give us some tips. Ay, hindi niya marinig. Dahan-dahan. Siguro po you can give us some tips how to manage our time po if you're an entrepreneur.
For me po, medyo nahihirapan din po kasi single mom po ako, single mom of 2. So, isa po sa dito, siguro po, like by posting ganyan, kami ng partner ko is, yung posting namin for a month, ini-edit na po namin siya kagad ng isang araw, ng 2 araw, para nandun na po siya. Bawas oras rin sa amin. So, yun po yung araw-araw na po, naka-schedule na siya. At yun po yung minsan meeting lang po kami is once a week para mapag-usapan po namin yung mga pwede pang gawin or ganyan. Since may mga distributors na rin naman po kami, medyo nakabawas yun po sa amin ng time. I mean, like sila pag nagbebenta po sila, syempre tinutulungan din po namin. Pero more on sila po talaga yung nag-distribute. Schedule, tamang pag-schedule and all.
Ayan. So guys, natin yun. So kahit na very kayo, I mean, you have responsibilities with your family, you always find time then for your business. Kaya naman yan. May question pala, may comments pala tayo from Miss sabi ni Miss Maria kanina, face and body scrub siya. No? And Azuki scrub is organic. And from Moises, great day po. And Entrep and guest, Miss Nami. Tapos may peace sign. Hi, Sir Rene, looking. Ito may mga alam to, hindi ko alam anong good, looking good. Ito, do you need to moisturize after you use it? After you scrub, magmo-moisturizer po ba?
Yes. Actually, ang kinaganda ng Azuki scrub is mas lalo niyang may enhance, I mean, yung texture ng skin mo. Like, after mo mag-scrub, parang pag gumamit ka ng ibang product pa, mas mag-e-effect yung product na ginamit mo. Pag nag-exfoliate yung skin mo. Actually. So, yes. Lotion rin. Lagay ka din ng lotion para lalong soft.
So, parang siya talaga, kasi scrub siya. So, matatanggal kung ano man yung mga dirt and makeup. Hindi, tama. Kasi maliligo ko naman pala before. So, sorry hindi ako nag-scrub eh. Hindi ko alam paano. Okay, so, partner, ikaw naman magtanong. Baka masubukan kasi medyo iba yung weather ngayon.
Oo.
Ayan.
Kasi nakita ko yung mga videos ni Miss Nami eh. Alam mo kasi syempre pag yung videos, very raw naman yung videos kapag ikaw yung nag-shoot, diba? Nakita ko yung mga videos niya na before siya nag-scrub and after siya nag-scrub. Actually, may difference. Talaga. Oo. So, gusto mo bang matry yan, partner?
Pwedeng
Gusto mo matry yung
subukan.
ganung effect?
Ano yun, Miss Nami? Mata?
May free po kayo sa aking Azuki. Basta mahanapan nyo lang po. Joke.
By the way, guys.
Actually, I was gonna ask that. O sige, ikaw na magtanong, partner. Para
ikaw na,
official.
partner.
Yung, para ano. Ayan, kasi
Hindi
na-mention
ko
ni
naman
Miss
ginagawa
Nami,
yan.
di ba? Na-mention ni Miss Nami. So, yung mga guys na nanonood dyan, yan, si Moises, sino pa ba ang nandyan? Yan. Kanina na-mention ni Miss Nami na she's single. She's a single mom. So, ibig sabihin, di ba, eto, are you single or taken? Naging dating, match.
I'm single and ready to mingle. Joke.
Ayun. Yun eh.
Lalabas na ako ng baso, mag-i-interview tayo nito ng ano. Kasi pag...
Nako, partner, wag. Wag, okay. Partner. Ayun. So, ayun.
Si
Miss
Moises
Nami,
nagko-comment.
Ang
sige, go.
Sige, yun muna. Si Moises muna.
Sa ibang chat siya nagko-comment. Sabi niya, ang ganda daw ng guest natin.
Oh, Moises, ba't hindi mo i-comment para mabasa ni Miss Nami?
Oo. Guys, mag-comment lang kayo. Yung mga may
wag
lakas
mo
ng
shy,
loob,
wag mo
comment.
shy. Ayun. Miss Nami, meron po ba kayong tips sa mga sa mga single moms na gustong malaya ako sa microphone. Sa mga single moms po na gustong magkaroon ng business, meron po ba kayong tips?
Ayun,
No
okay
audio.
na po.
Okay. Again, partner, tanong mo ulit yung tanong.
Meron po ba kayong mga tips dun sa mga, kahit hindi single mom, yung mga mommies na may mga inaalagaan babies, ganyan, pero wala talaga. Ita-type ko na lang po. Partner, ikaw magtanong, baka naririnig niya.
Meron po ba kayong eto, can you hear me, Miss Nami?
Ayun, okay na. Sorry po.
So kung meron daw ba kayong tips para sa mga other single moms? Ano yung partner?
Na gusto nang mag-start ng business pero syempre they're reluctant kasi yung meron silang inaalagaan, ganyan.
So for me po, kaya po rin po ako nag-online kasi mas hawak po yung oras ko. Kasi yung nag-restaurant business po kasi ako, kailangan yung presence po nandun, lagi ka nandun sa pwesto. Since online lang everything naman po dito is through online, mas may time po ako sa ko. Siguro po yun po yung tip ko, lalo po ngayong pandemic. So, pag magbi-business po muna, siguro puro online lang muna, parang ganun po.
I see. Paano naman po kunwari, like, kasi ang dami ko nakikita, alam mo yun, yung mga moms working from home, paano mo i-manage yung at the same time habang siguro nagpo-post ka ng anything on Facebook regarding your product and you still have to take care of your children. How do you manage that? Partner, ikaw, baka matanong niya, baka marinig niya pag ikaw. Ako bang yung microphone ko ba?
Baka yung baka internet lang ang kasi ayan. How about now? Meron na kaya? Ayan. Nagpuputol-putol lang tayo.
Nagsasalita po si Miss Kate, medyo po kasi.
Napuputol. Ako talaga.
Baka malakas yung audio.
Ako talaga.
Baka malakas yung audio niyo. Partner, hinaan mo daw audio mo.
Hinaan ko? Really?
Yung mic.
Sige.
Baka yung mic level.
Okay.
Yan, okay na po.
Yan.
Po.
Sige nga, partner, salita ka. Hala na wala. Okay. So, na-frozen yung partner ko. So, ayan
can you hear
partner,
me?
are you back?
Is it better? Can you hear me? Hindi pa rin.
Yes, we can hear you.
Pero pakikinggan
Pero
ko
okay
lang.
naman.
I think Nami cannot hear me.
So, ano po yung...
Eh. Ayan. So, ano pong, diba, marami kasing mothers ngayon yung work from home, ganyan. While you're doing your stuff for your business, how do you manage your time? Taking care of the kids as well.
Kasi po yung mga kids ko, malalaki na po sila, so hindi na po ganun kaalagain. Kumbaga, luluto na lang ako or hindi naman po sila kailangan paliguan. So, may oras pa rin po ako na may oras pa rin po ako sa kids ko and may oras din po ako sa business. Siguro po, usually po kasi may schedule talaga kami pag nag-meeting and all ganyan. Palagi lang dapat tama yung scheduling.
Scheduling and planning.
Yes.
Mm-mm. So, Miss Nami, how do we get in touch with you? Kunwari, I'm very, very sure na a lot of our viewers would want to try the Azuki scrub because it's very intriguing. Diba? Yung Azuki kasi, ano siya famous siya sa Japan for their regimen talaga. So, how do we get in touch with you if you want to try the product or resell the product?
Actually, we have a Facebook page. They can follow us at Azuki Scrub and Instagram rin. Doon po, pwede po kayo to inquire po how to be a reseller. Pwede po mag-message doon sa page namin and Instagram. Yun po.
Instagram and Facebook. It's called Azuki Scrub.
So,
Tama
po,
ba?
may ginagawa po kaming link, site po, na pupunta lang kayo doon tapos mag-fill up lang kayo ng form and all. Pero sa ngayon, wala pa po siya. Siguro by January, lalabas na po yun.
Coming soon.
Yes.
Coming
Abangan
soon.
sa 2021.
I-share na lang natin sa Facebook page ng EntrepRadio and sa VG8 as well, no? So, yung mga viewers natin, you can like and subscribe our page para makita niyo yung updates din. Ayan. Nahirapan yung audio ni Miss Nami. Allah.
Oo.
So, syempre may konting delay yan pag sa FB.
Oo. Alam mo ba, gusto ko partner mag-request ng ng tour. Miss Nami, ano bang meron sa window mo? Kasi I haven't been to Japan. Si partner rin, he's been there like a lot of times. Anong meron sa labas ng window mo? Does it look like, ano ba? Is it snowy na?
Okay. Parang hindi po bang makita? Ano lang po. Kapag bahay po namin.
Kapit-bahay.
Gusto niyo po bang
Makikita natin.
Sige.
Sige,
Ayan
sige.
na, ito talaga yung
Tour na lang tayo.
Tour, oo.
Ito po, dito po ako nakatira. Yan po yung coat ko. Sobrang lamig na po kasi dito eh. Sorry, makalat yung
Oo.
Ayun o.
Ito po yung ankle ko. Yan. So, papakita po yung labas ng bahay namin.
Sige.
Wala, pinahirapan
Para
natin si Miss
maniwala
Nami.
na po kayo nasa Japan ako, hindi po ako nag-e-etch.
Oh.
Yan po. Ito po yung mga kapitbahay namin.
Sugoy.
Sugoy dyan, Bishop. Yan po yung bike ko na sira. Hindi makapag-grocery.
Nasa na po yung vending machine sa may mga kanto-kanto, di ba? Wala.
Kailangan po. Ito po. Wala po akong signal dun eh. Yun po.
Gusto mong papuntahin sa kanto.
Kaso po, wala po signal.
Sakay kayo ng train.
Opo, nakakamiss. Di ba nakakamiss dito? Ayan. Yan na po.
Oo.
Ayan ha. Sure ha, nasa Japan si Miss Nami.
Kaya hindi ko po kayo ni-etchos. Kasi kung sabi sa akin, nasa Japan po ba talaga? Kasi mahilig po ako dati mag-late post. Pag nasa Pinas na ako, nasa Japan ako, parang ganun po. So, ayun na po nila maniwala sa akin. Joke.
Ayan. Miss Nami, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Ay, wait lang. Baka naman may questions pa ang ating mga ka-entreps. Kasi puro guys. Actually, Miss Nami,
Oo
puro
nga.
guys ang nanonood ngayon. Oo.
Pero yung mga guys kasi namin, nagko-comment lang sila pero hindi sa'yo kino-comment, sa akin nila, so sabi nila,
Oo,
looking
bakit ba
fresh and
sa'yo?
ready to face the day. Hindi
Bakit ba
actually sa
sa'yo?
akin ano yan, hindi sa akin yan talaga. Sa inyo yan, Miss Nami. Nahihiya lang sila kasi may pangalan nakalagay.
Single po ako, joke.
Diba? Very, very straightforward.
Nice.
Kayo pang nahihiya.
Oo.
Huwag na
Sabi
kayong
ni Miss
mahiya.
Gerlin, hello. Yeah.
Ayan.
Okay.
JM, salamat. Nice, Sir Rene.
Oo, nicer.
Ang dami mong fans today. Ano bang nangyari? Ba't ang dami mong fans?
Ito. May ano si Miss Maria. Sabihin niyo po, paano mo na-discover si Azuki Scrub?
Ayun nga po, tulad ng sinabi ko po kanina, dito po sa Japan, chinek ko yung mga beauty products nila, ano po yung madalas na ingredients doon, which is saponin nga po. So, na-curious ako, ano yun? So, nag-google lang ako. So, yun nga, nakita ko, nagpo-produce namin si Azuki, yung red bean po mismo. So, ayun, yun po yung pinalagay ko sa chemist na lagyan ng Azuki bean yung scrub.
Mm-hmm.
Dahil po, doon po nabuo sa pag-google ko lang.
Yun. Tapos ngayon,
Tapos
it's
ito pa
selling
sabi-
like hotcakes. Diba?
Pa-shutdown.
Ayan. Tapos, anong shutdown?
Kamusta?
Shutdown o shutdown or shout out?
Baka nag-autocorrect. Good job,
Okay.
Juniko. Eto, sabi ni Miss Maria, kwento mo na sa kanila. And Geraldine, ganda mo po.
Ganda mo po.
From Sir Joji, domo arigatou gozaimasu, Miss Nami. Azuki, masarap yan, sabi ni Juniko. Okay, thank you guys for the comments. Yung may mga mag-question na. By the way, ano nga ba yung sasabihin natin, partner? If you want to, if you're interested in Azuki Scrub, message us at Facebook, sa EntrepRadio or sa VG8, and we can send you then the information, or you can actually go directly naman sa Azuki Scrub Facebook site, no? So that you can resell it, or if you want to use it.
Opo.
So may nagsasabi dito, si Christel, gising na rin. So Azuki is masarap na sa matcha, good for the skin pa. Yes.
Yun nga, diba? You can eat it and you can put it on your face.
Actually, yung top 5 secret po ng mga Japanese dito, isa po yung sa matcha. Top beauty secret po nila.
So pati matcha pwede.
Kaya pala sa
Okay.
Japan talaga, kita mo naman yung beauty ng Haponesa. Talagang iba yung glow nila. So sabi pala ni Miss Maria, Christmas party pa natin sa mga Azuki Kawaii soon.
Yan po.
Ayan.
Magpapa-Christmas party po kami ang Azuki.
So yeah, Miss Nami, meron po ba
May
kayong
last,
gustong
may last question. Wait lang, may last question. Magkano daw
or
po?
meron? Meron. Oo nga.
O,
Si Miss
alam mo,
Jerly, magkano po?
kulang, konti na lang may magmamine na dyan. Pamine na lang po. Magkano daw po?
Per tab po, 420 pesos, 180 grams na po siya.
180
na lang po
grams.
ito. May tatlo pa po dito.
O yung mga nasa Japan, i-mine nyo na para nandoon na yan.
Pwede nyo rin po
Pero for
i-mine.
Philippines, o yun, no?
Kasama ang seller. Mine seller, ganyan. Paki-type mine seller.
Sabi ni Miss
Ayun.
Maria, Actually, tinimbang ko siya. 200 grams talaga siya eh. Uy, may bonus.
Keep up, yes. Kasi po kasama na dun yung lagay.
Oh, okay.
Pero yung laman, 180 grams.
Ano? 180 grams. So, yan, Miss Nami, meron po ba kayong gustong i-plugging or event na mangyayari katulad ngayon, mag-Christmas party na pala yung Azuki Kawaii. Gusto niyo mag-invite?
Yes. Hindi pa po namin sure kung kailan is the exact date. Pero kami pong community po namin na Azuki Kawaii is magkakaroon po kami ng Christmas party dyan. Ayan. Be ready. And we're planning po mag-charity work actually. So, nagpa-plan parang po kami.
Mm-hmm. So, it's all being planned pa. Just watch out, no? Sabi pala ni Sir Georgette, saan mabibili dito sa Pinas ang Azuki products? Kung hindi naman alam na sa anong lugar nyo, no? I think it's available din po sa Shopee, tama po ba? Or meron reseller talaga ang dapat nilang kontakin?
Yes. Meron po kami mga reseller sa Instagram po. Just type Azuki lang, then hanapin nyo po kung saan kayo malapit na location. Like kung taga Las Piñas po kayo, mag-message po kayo sa azuki.laspiñas. Just type Azuki, tapos may lalabas na po doon ng mga lugar.
Mm-hmm.
And sa Shopee po, meron
si Sir Junico. And sa Shopee, meron din. Ano bang sabi ni Sir Junico dito?
Konnichiwa, minasan.
Katakana.
Onegai shimasu.
Onegai shimasu. Ayan.
Nakabasa lang po ako ng hiragana. Hindi ako nakakasulat.
Hiragana. Oh. Nasa Japan kasi to si Sir Junico. Kaya. Okay. Partner, you're back.
Yeah, I'm back. So yun nga, sabi ni Miss Maria Garcera, go to Azuki Scrub page and Instagram if you are interested, if you want to try the product or you want to resell it. Ayan. So, Miss Nami, we want to thank you so much. I know na medyo busy ka, tsaka galing ka pa sa Tokyo kahapon. Thank you so much for accommodating us.
Thank you very much for taking time. Sige po, Miss Nami. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Nami.
Bye-bye. Ayan. So, slight lang yung audio problems natin. But it's okay. So yun, Azuki Scrub, no? I mean, guys, if you're interested, just comment or message them directly. So for Azuki Scrub users, kung meron din kayong feedback about it, share nyo rin para mas marami pa makaalam how is it talaga or ano bang mga nyo. Yun nga, feedback essentially. So, partner.
Oo. Pero interesting yung Azuki Scrub. Interesting siya. Well, for me, interesting siya kasi meron siyang red bean na parang hindi ko naman talaga nakita yung red bean sa ibang scrub. I don't know. Usually kasi sea salt scrub diba? Yun yung famous ngayon. Tapos yung Azuki Scrub, I haven't heard of it before. So yun, siguro pwede nating i-try. Ganyan. Tapos you can post it on EntrepRadio Online page. Diba? So we can share it with you. Ayan. So maybe we can go for a break, for a very, very short break. And then before we go to our second guest.
Yes.
The night. Yeah.
I mean, actually, si Dave, our next guest is just, nandiyan lang, nakapila lang siya, no? Okay, guys, we'll be back for a quick break.
Great day, everyone! This is Kathleen of Voice Over Flowers, and I'm inviting everyone to join the Certified Voice Artist Program, Batch 4! Yay! Akalaan yan, Batch 4 na. So, sa November 7 na po yan, and may chance kayo na makasama namin sa aming mga online programs and radio shows. So, what are you waiting for? Visit our Facebook page, Certified Voice Artist Program. See you there!
So that was a very quick break. Just a reminder, no?
Oo nga. Parang ano.
Kasi actually,
Yes.
yung that was for the batch 4 no ng Certified Voice Artist program. So the next batch is on January 9 next year na. And the slots are open. You can actually enroll now, no? So if you're
Yes.
interested to become a voice artist. So yan.
Mm-mm.
But
Please
of
do
course, it's mentored by
please do as soon as you can kasi a lot of people are actually interested with the program. So may slots to fill in lang, 'di ba?
yung mga hindi nakasama ng batch 4 na gustong ituloy pa rin, no? Batch 5 is open, so what are you waiting for? Ayan. Okay, sorry. Kamusta? Yan. Okay. May pumasok na comments. From Miss Maria. Miss Maria, thank you then for sabi niya kasi, thank you Miss Faith and Serena, God bless. Thank you then for watching the show and participating. No? We really appreciate it. No? If you guys are
Yes. Thank you, Miss
asking the
Maria.
questions that you want to know. And from Miss Geraldine, thank you po. You're welcome. Ayan. Okay.
Yes, let's
Teka,
move on to our
nawala
second
yung-
guest. Nawala?
Oo, teka, nawala siya. Sandali. So, ang next topic kasi natin is essentially how to manage your own money, no? Lalo na yung dun sa mga millennials out there or yung mga baguhan pa lang sa ano tawag nito na you're working.
Pag-manage ng personal funds.
Teka, ang mahirap kasi dyan is kumikita ka tapos hindi mo alam na wala ka palang naitatabi. No? Kasi pasok yung pera, labas yung pera. Wala kang sa save. So our next guest will help you with that, how to manage it, how to keep it, and how to actually
Which is something I don't think I learned this from school, you know. Parang hindi naman yata tinuro sa school paano i-save ang money mo, 'di ba? Tsaka yung mga allotments ng mga finances mo. So, I think kasi yung before generation, parang hindi masyadong naturuan ng financial literacy. So, yung itong mga millennials, yung mga bagong working ages, ganyan. Medyo na sila, aware na sila sa financial literacy eh. Alam mo yun? So, I think this is very, very timely at saka very useful para as early as now, yung mga bata pa lang na nag-start sa pagtatrabaho or pag ninegosyo, may mga batang entrepreneur ngayon, sobrang babata. Ayan, they can already manage their funds very efficiently. Diba?
Yung iba kasi nasanay din, bata pa lang naturuan na, no? Paano humawak ng pera. And that's one of the things that you have to teach your kids then, no? How to handle money, not necessarily to touch the money, pero pwede naman kasi na, kunyari, meron kang mga chores na kailangan gawin sa bahay. O sige, ikaw mag-set ng mesa or ikaw maglinis dito, then bigyan kitang credits na lang, kumbaga. For every linis, may 50 ka na credits na pwede mo i-encash on Christmas or something, no? Or kung may gusto siyang pabili. Yung mga ganyan tipong tips, no? So, in that way, makikita nila na may value ang pera, na hindi lang siya basta-basta na binibigay. Ito ay pinaghihirapan. No? I'm trying to contact our second guest now kasi nawala siya. Hindi siya nagre-reply. Baka nakatulog siya, no?
Pero alam mo, partner, kasi nung, di ba, yung mga time natin, ikaw kasi yung parents mo, yung father mo kasi is a businessman, di ba? Pero kasi, lagi ko naririnig dati, yung mga ka-age ko dati, na parang enjoy your salary, parang ganon, di ba? Parang hindi pala dapat ganon, di ba?
Actually,
dapat pinaplano mo pala yung spending, ganon.
Dapat talaga, every time, ito sa tips ko na lang, every time may makukuha kayong money, make sure na magtabi kayo ng kahit ilang percent lang. You can start with 1%, 5%, or 10%. So, kunyari na lang, your earnings, sabihin mo, sa business na lang, sa business mo. So, kung may business ka, kunyari your earning, sabihin mo 10,000 a month, itabi mo yung 1,000 para meron kang personal savings mo. Teka, ha? Sorry. Ito. Partner, ikaw, ano bang tips mo?
Wala. Joke lang. Tinuturuan ko pa yung sarili ko. Kasi, I mean, pag babae ka kasi masarap pag-shopping, 'di ba? Pero pinipigilan ko yung sarili ko. So, hindi na ako masyadong add to cart, tsaka nag-check out, ganyan. Except of course pag 11-11, ganyan. 10-10, 12-12 is coming. So, yan.
Yes.
Yan yung mga challenges.
Ito, tinatawagan natin ang ating guest. Pero yun nga, kung pwede naman kasi i-save to cart mo na lang muna. Tapos pag minsan kasi na pag nabalikan mo na sa cart, ay hindi ko pala kailangan to. Wag na lang. So yun. Aha, okay. I think na nakasagot na siya. So
he's joining us soon.
Yes, oo. I think na-disconnect kasi siya. So, yun, no? So, ang dami na natin nabato na tips na actually, medyo hirap magbigay ng tips sa panahon na to kasi nga, hindi tayo sure pa how things are going to go. No? But, some lessons you can use kahit na ganitong time and eventually maayos naman din. But, kunyari, financial lessons are, forever naman yan.
Pero alam mo, totoo, kasi ayan, nandiyan na si Sir Dave. Totoo kasi before, meron tayong mga percentage of how much goes to what, 'di ba? Ngayon parang hindi na siya applicable. 'Di ba? May mga bagay na hindi na applicable ngayon.
So, okay, simulan na natin para mas informative yung malalaman niyo. Okay. So, teka. So to introduce our next guest, he is a program manager, for a global tech retail conglomerate, focusing on human resources and employee customer experience. He is the founder of the now defunct, medyo na off lang yung site ngayon. The website is called ProfessorPera.com, and he's offering tips and tricks on financial fitness for the everyday Pinoy outside of work and in a non-COVID infected universe. Siya nagsulat nito, hindi kami. You will find him hacking his way through a golf course, playing board games with friends, or planning the next weekend getaway. So, ladies and gentlemen, we present to you Mr. Dave Torcuator.
Hello, guys. Well, thank you.
Hi,
Thank you for the applause. Thank you. No need. Hi, Faith. Hello, Rene, Vince.
Welcome to EntrepRadio.
Hello to all your listeners. Good afternoon. Happy Sunday.
Yes, yun ang ganda ng intro ni Dave.
Mm-hmm.
So as we were talking kanina, kasi medyo early, kaya na medyo nagulo rin yung schedule natin, Nasaan ka kanina? Bakit ka nawala?
Oh?
Biglang boom on the spot. Okay.
Oo nga. Nagtago muna. Nag-makeup muna, nag-freshen up lang, nag-retouch lang.
Nag-freshen up, nag-retouch. So can you tell us something about yourself, Dave? What's your background para aside from yung nasa intro?
What's my background? Well, siguro I would say the relevant background, I guess, to this role, si Professor Pera. Well, my background really is parang management and project management, and I also have a background in psychology. So, over the course of my career, mostly when I apply this to work, diba, I manage mga projects, I manage mga budgets, etc., diba, and then I manage mga people. I realize that some of these things, diba, you could practically apply to yourself. Maybe in a limited way, 'di ba? Obviously, your people are not businesses, 'di ba? Your family, your friends, 'di ba? The amount of parang management is different, 'di ba? But when it comes to managing yourself, at least in terms of your personal finances, it's not very different from managing a business or managing a project. And eventually, I guess if I look back and ask myself, 'di ba? Parang when did I start doing this, 'di ba? I would have to say it came at a, I guess, at a time in my life where parang may struggle, 'di ba? We were all financially strapped, and then you realize, paano ko gagawin to? How am I going to make ends meet? How am I going to save for whatever, 'di ba? Whatever it is you're gonna save for. And eventually, I tried applying the things that I knew at work, and eventually they started working. And then there, and that was more than 10 years ago. So while I won't consider myself like a guru or an expert, I'd like to think that at least I am in a position to share my experiences and help others who might need help. Ngayon ba yung Oscar speech music? Okay, game.
Nasa ba yung applause natin? Yan, okay.
Yan.
So, partner, what's your question?
Ayan, Sir Dave, tell us about Professor Pera. What is Professor Pera?
So this was mga 2 years ago. So I started this journey like mga 10 years ago nga, pero very informally, just talking to friends, co-workers, mga ganyan, family, giving tips and tricks on mga financial fitness. Hindi ako nagbebenta ng insurance, don't get me wrong. I'm offering lang talaga like good sound advice. And then mga 2 years ago, I said to myself, alam mo, this was so weird parang nakahiga ako sa bed. And then bila ako naisip, gusto kong gumawa ng vlog. Sorry, hindi ako very, I know this was only 2 years ago, hindi ako very digital media savvy. Ang naisip ko na medium at the time was vlog. So I thought, this was probably like mga 2, 3 a.m. Bila ako naisip, ito yung name ng vlog, Professor Pera. And then sobra akong naisip na sobrang smart idea niya that I went online, registered the domain, thinking kasi that somebody else might steal that idea if I slept. Di ba? For the next 6 or 7 hours. So, register ko yung domain, etc. And then I started posting like mga financial fitness, mga tips and tricks, etc. The goal was to have some sort of a curriculum really free, di ba? Accessible to all. And parang sort of like parang hindi siya training pero alam mo, to monitor your growth around financial fitness, etc. And the target audience, the target market at the time. So I worked a long time in the BPO industry, and I'm able to parang have a lot of interactions and encounters with those hindi naman fresh grads, but people in their early to mid 20s and maybe even to their late 20s. And then those are a lot of the people then that I talk to regarding financial fitness. So I figured that this would be a good I think there's a big demographic, especially in the Philippines, for those who have money but not entirely sure with how to spend it, how to do, what to do with it. So that was the demographic, that was the intent at the time, and that was 2 years ago.
So that's medyo malayo na rin, from 2 years ago to now. But do you have plans of restarting that, this?
I've been thinking about it. I realized that people don't read parang blogs anymore. That was just 2 years ago, no? Pero now, parang everything is either a vlog or an Instagram channel or a TikTok
or a show.
Or a show or something else. Diba? So I almost feel like a blog is sort of parang dinosaur na, no? Parang, does anyone still do that? So I'm thinking about it. But it definitely has to cater to the current diba? No one's going to read a blog, I feel. Maybe, pero I feel like maybe I'll give it a think, diba? The content, the information is still there. It's just a matter of how to get it across to today's target audience. Like how you guys are doing through your show, diba? So, I resurrected. So, I had an Instagram page. So, at that time, hindi naman ako ganun ka-dinosaur, di ba? Gumawa ako ng blog. I also made a Facebook and an Instagram page. And then, I realized na yung Instagram page is still alive. Although, hindi ko pala siya na-postan. But I think if I were to move forward and try to touch, I guess, kahit 2 years ago lang just try to touch the current market, I feel like I would probably start with that Instagram page again. And then we'll see. Baka mamaya meron na rin akong ProfessorPera vlog, ganyan, di ba?
Oh, why not? Di ba? I mean, a lot of people need that.
We have a comment from Miss Pao Castillo. Miss Pao is actually, she's, you can get in touch with her because she does some social media marketing then. She's part of EntrepRadio. So sabi niya, microblogging na rin po talaga ang trend ngayon. But that's a really good topic po. If catering to a younger demographic, maybe opt po for FB page. Good tip, Miss Pao.
Thank you, Pao.
Gising na rin siya. Oh, meron pa. Though
May
blogs
follow
are very
through.
useful po for longer posting than summary po on your social media. Papatok po yun. Yan na.
Sige.
Actually, can we encourage our viewers? Kasi diba yung mga ka-entreps natin dyan, I'm sure they would want to know a lot of things about financial literacy. And while we have Dave, diba, might as well ask all your questions. Just type it out, wag mahiya. Ayan, sasagutin ni Dave lahat ng questions ninyo.
Yes, lahat. Anything under the sun.
Lahat.
Okay.
Pati kanina
Ano to?
nga, di ba, si Nami, tinanong natin siya kung single siya. Sumagot, di ba?
And ready to mingle, which is the important thing.
Oo.
So with
Ayun.
Dave now, it's an AMA, it's an Ask Me Anything kind of session. Pero maybe we'll do that after he gives his key points, no, for today. So would you like to start with that now?
Sige, my key points?
Yep.
Sure, sige. So maybe one thing I want to add din, di ba? Siguro, a lot of people have been stuck in their homes, di ba? Parang one of the reflections I've had during this COVID time is, I feel like, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, if there's one good thing about COVID, di ba? I think that people have become more mindful with their spending. Obviously, in the past, 8-9 months, diba? Less gimmicks, less traveling, less, spending on non-important things. I feel like exactly, and we have more money in our wallet. I think one of the good. This is just an insight now before we get started with the tips, diba? People are spending more, hopefully, no, on their health, on their wellness, on their mental health as well. And hopefully on more essential things. But don't get me wrong, no? I've also had my mga shopping binges, di ba? Pag nag-sale, di ba? You need to keep yourself entertained.
11, 12.
Yeah, mga ganyan, di ba? But definitely, I feel like a lot of people now are much more mindful of where their money goes. So with that, di ba? My first key tip would be, nasan yung, wala bang graphics? No, wala. Okay.
Ay, hold on.
Hindi.
So, okay, here we go.
Okay. The first key tip, diba, is see where your money goes. Track your expenses. This is very, very important, diba? A lot of us, especially those with credit cards, diba, at the end of the month or when our credit card bill comes, we look at it and we say, oh wow, paano nangyari to? Paano ko nagastos lahat to, diba? It's very important, if you want to be able to understand where your money goes, is to know where your money goes to begin with. I would suggest, and this is gonna sound very tedious to everyone, especially if you don't have this habit, diba? I would suggest to download some sort of app any expense app, di ba? And I've been doing this for siguro mga 7 years now. I've been using one app. I could go back to all my expenses for the past 7 years, and then I can see how much I've been spending. Um, I'm not gonna plug any app. Any app works as long as it has the functionality to, you can list yung mga categories: food, drink, groceries, shopping, entertainment,
Please.
etc. Exactly, di ba? Anything talaga. But that's very, very important. You won't be able to know, di ba, what sort of financial health you're in if you don't know where your money is going. It's not so much then your income, no? Your income is just a fixed number. I mean, it's something that you should know for each month. Pero the expenses talaga, how it's broken down, it's very important that you do this. And I would suggest, for those who aren't used to this habit, if you could like download an app now. So it's Sunday, di ba? And then start using it siguro for 1 week.
Okay.
Sunday dyan?
Yes.
Guys,
live tayo. The show is live. It is a Sunday.
It is Sunday. Okay. Okay, sorry, di ba? And then start tracking your expenses for this week. Look at the expenses that you have for the next 6 or 7 days, di ba? And then you'll see, ay, ang lakas ko pala gumastos sa whatever it is, di ba? Whatever.
Pero Dave, what app are you using? Kasi there are a lot of apps. Diba?
Would you recommend something?
I would recommend it.
I have tried a lot actually. Ayan, sabi rin ni Erica Qua del Rosario. I'm curious what app you're using. Qua del Rosario. I'm curious what app.
Maybe you can...
Sorry, kasi sa Singapore gano'n, yung mga Chinese, ganyan.
Qua. Sorry, baka Qua nga.
Kasunod yung, nag-explain talaga ako, diba?
So, yun. Siya yung wife ni Eggy. Yung guest natin before.
Hello po. Ayan, sabi niya, I'm curious what app you are using. Maybe you can mention apps with such function.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm using this app called Spendy. Where can I type it in? Spendy. Can I type? Teka lang So, ito yung, yan. Well, I put it in the private chat. Parang di ako makatype.
Alam mo, Dave, I've used a lot of apps. Tapos parang, at some point, they become complicated for me. Alam mo yun? Kasi parang start, masaya pa. Type ka, ganyan, makikita mo yung spending mo. Tapos at some point, parang, ang complicated na nito. Ganyan.
I'll get to that later.
Sige.
There's definitely some sort of fatigue, di ba? The more and more you do this. But I'll get to that on my third point later. And when you start asking yourselves, why am I even doing this at all? Di ba? What's the point? But yeah, so sorry, going back to the app Spendy, it's free. Tapos meron siyang parang paid. I don't do paid at all. The paid is like multiple wallets, etc. Diba? The free version works for me. It's really just a matter of tracking your expenses, no? I just use it on my phone. There's a web interface as well where you can download your expenses in Excel, etc. if that works for you. But for me, I just eyeball it, and then I put my expenses at the end of each month. So I do mine monthly. I consolidate them in an Excel tracker. We'll talk about that later when we talk about budgets. What's really key now is just to get into the habit of tracking all your expenses to the minutest, well, hindi naman. Siguro, if I drop 2 pesos, I won't say drop 2 pesos, diba? But as long as I can remember, parking, ganyan. The ones that you will normally miss, parking, tips, mga ganyan, diba? If you could track as much of your expenses as possible, then that would be great. And you can start seeing trends in your spending. Milk tea, Starbucks, massage, walang massage ngayon, manicure, pedicure, etc. You'll be surprised at what you spend on when you look back, and then you'll say, ba't ako gumastos ng 8,000 sa whatever, for example, manicure, pedicure, di ba? Those sorts of things. And if you can see it, you'll actually be more mindful na parang of your spending in particular things, di ba?
There you
Agree. So the first point was see where your money goes.
Yes.
Track your expenses. Ayan. Okay. Second one.
At that point, diba, it's just data. It's just numbers. It doesn't mean anything. It's just you knowing where your money goes. It
Yes.
it starts giving value when that data turns into information, and it starts turning into information when you start seeing the trends, diba? And it'll definitely have more value to to you when you start creating your budget. So my next tip would be define a good budget. Basically, know your lifestyle. Anyone can create a budget, and I wanna, diba, not scare people away, diba? A budget is not a limit, diba? When some people say, "Anong budget?" 500, parang you can't spend more than that, diba? My view of a budget is really more of a guide. You've sort of told yourself in your head, how much am I willing to spend on certain things each month, diba? Some people, it might help them if they separate their budgets into separate envelopes, diba? As in different cash envelopes for budgets. For me, since it's really more of a guide lang talaga, when I create the budget, I'm basically telling myself, how much should I be spending on a particular category each month? And to create a good budget, you have to ask yourself, diba? Like, what's my lifestyle? Am I don't know, am I a party goer? Ganyan. Then you have a lot of budget spending on your drinks and ano, are you a shopper? Ganyan, etc. So you have to know yourself. You have to be honest as well, diba? A lot of people don't really track how much they spend on particular categories. So it's important, once you start tracking your expenses, to also be mindful of how much you're spending in particular categories and asking yourself, diba? Parang, do I really want to spend on these things or not? They say that parang people behave depending on how they're measured. So once you have that budget in your head, diba, then it also almost forces you to at least in your head, diba, na I'm going to be over budget in this particular thing. Let's say my milk tea budget, diba? Maybe I'll skip today and maybe I'll just buy milk tea again tomorrow. Those sorts of things. But it's important really to have a budget created. I can't tell you what a perfect budget will look like. My budget will definitely look different from your budget. There are some mga key guidelines though, diba? Like for example, some people say if you're renting your own place, diba, you shouldn't spend more than around 20% of your net income on your rent. So if you're making 100,000 and you're renting a place that's 30,000, then you know that you're spending more than you should be. There's also general guidelines then for like food, for travel, those sorts of things, diba? But again, those are all just guidelines then, diba? How much debt person should have if you're paying for a mortgage or if you're paying for your car. You don't want to get into too much debt. I would advise against going into debt completely, of course, but obviously it's something that realistically we can't, not all of us can avoid, diba? Especially if we're already in the process of buying our homes or buying a car, those sorts of things. But there are healthy levels of debt which we should always try to,
levels.
if we're going to go into debt, make sure that it's within those numbers. That number is normally siguro mga 35% of our net income, diba? If you're spending more than that on debt, like your mortgage, your car, etc., and start being worried, not worried, but start asking yourself, do I have too much debt, or how do I make more income?
And there's also, diba, good debt and bad debt, diba? So siguro dapat i-identify nila whether the debt is a good debt or a bad debt, diba?
Yeah. Like one of my other tips would be like to avoid yung yung mga unnecessary expenses. And eh, eh, let me qualify. No, there are things that we shouldn't be spending for. For example, your credit card interest rates, diba? Those are probably
Yes.
one of the killer things, diba? What, mga 2-3% per month? If you think about that, that's what, 36% per year, diba? That's crazy, I would highly recommend people not to get into any form of credit card debt. At the same time, there are some expenses that we could easily avoid, like yung credit card renewal fees nyo. Every year you get that. Your credit card company will say renewal fee, diba? You just call and say, I want to
Waive
get
it.
this reversed wave, diba? And then they'll do it. Anyone will do that. Other things like, for example, unneeded subscriptions. I get frustrated or I get annoyed at myself when, yung magda-download ka ng app and then free siya ng 1 week and then you forget to cancel and then before you know, subscribe, parang, diba? Parang silly moment, diba? So those sorts of things lang. I would even include yung mga ATM convenience fees, for
Transaction
example.
fees. Yeah.
Yeah, even if it's only 10 pesos, diba? And sometimes I have to I have to qualify that, diba? Of course, if it's an emergency and you need money, go 10 pesos lang yon. But if you have the option of withdrawing on the next ATM na slightly siguro longer line, whatever, diba? Or plan ahead. Don't withdraw sa mall, diba? If you pass by mga banks on your way home, then kung walang pila, then withdraw there, diba? It's not so much the amount. Obviously, 10 pesos is just, diba? 10 pesos, diba? But it's more of the mindset, really. It's a waste. It's an unavoidable expense, diba? And the more we can get into this mindset of being frugal and I dare to say, parang living within our means, diba? Then you'll find yourselves having more and more money to spend, and ideally to invest.
Good tip. Yes.
Okay.
Are we moving on to number 3? Yes. Number 2 was know your lifestyle. So define a good budget. Yun. Number 3 is?
My number 3 is, I'm gonna steal something from 7 Habits, no? Kay Stephen Covey. It says, begin with the end in mind. And what I really mean by this is to create your financial goals. Earlier, Faith, you mentioned na, when you start doing mga expense tracking, etc., it's fun in the beginning, and then later on, you realize parang, ay, nakakatamad na. It gets more and more tedious, more and more difficult, diba? I think one of the things that sort of will help us to lose that fatigue is by creating that plan, creating your financial goal, creating your financial plan. And what is a financial goal, financial plan? It could be something as simple as I want to earn, kunyari, I want to make 1 million pesos in 1 year. Or I want to save up for a trip to ganyan. Or maybe something as simple as I want to buy the new iPhone 12 by ganito, di ba? As long as you create that goal, it needs to be smart. And if people aren't familiar with SMART goals, they're specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. Diba? As long as they're smart, diba, you can create a plan and ask yourself, between now and then, let's say you want to go on a trip, kunyari walang COVID, you want to go on a trip 6 months from now and you need whatever, 100,000 pesos, diba? Then you'll be focused on attaining that plan. And that plan can only be attained, through the incremental baby steps you take between now and then to reach that plan. And tracking your expenses is definitely one of the key ways to know where you are at in your financial journey. Obviously, I would recommend, again, to each their own, diba? If that's your financial goal, then great, diba? But I would ask people to, well, it's okay to have short-term goals. Also create mid and long-term goals. It's definitely harder to create long-term goals, especially in a world that's very volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. But if you can create like mga short-term goals, mid-term goals, like mga 2 to 3 year goals, particularly financial or career goals, then it makes much more sense to keep yourself on track using a budget, using your expense tracking tools, um, uh, simply by monitoring yourself and assessing yourself every month, diba, where you are at on your financial journey.
Mhm. So begin with the end in mind. Yung sa ano pala, from what I do, no? Kasi nga, now we're mostly online na lang ang shopping eh. So ako, I barely go out of the house na. So every time I purchase or, sabihin na lang natin we purchase something online, let's say Lazada. What I do is I record it kagad dun sa expense app ko. So I go through that motion every single time I buy something, and that ingrains in you na bibilihin ko ba to o hindi? Kasi pag binili ko to, kailangan i-record ko to eh. So, is it really that important? If it is, diba, you'd have to go through the motion. So, record mo, and my expense app only works on the phone. Hindi siya, wala siyang web interface. No? So, medyo hassle talaga kasi you're gonna have to open the app, you wait for it, hanapin mo sinong pay, the amount, and what is it for. No? So, it helps me avoid those little things na this is not worth that effort. So sometimes I just skip it. Parang ayoko i-record to, wag na lang, di bale na. So yeah, so parang ganon, it helps. And at the same time, it also helps you pag nagre-reconcile ka with your statement of account at the end of the month. Kasi minsan makikita mo lang puro Lazada. Parang ano tong 100 pesos na to? Ano tong 200 na to? Then you'd have to go through your Lazada purchase history. And you're like, ang tagal. Pero if it's already on your expense app, you just take a look. Ito, December 2, ganyan. Okay, ito yan. So it's easier. And you're like, And tama nga, like, as you mentioned, no, you can categorize your expenses. And that helps if you can like bundle them lahat. Ano ba to? Meals? So I've been spending X number of amount for meals every month. So what do you do when you find out that you are spending too much on a particular category?
Sometimes, what I noticed, more often than not, we are conscious of our spend. So, kunyari food, di ba? Kunyari we eat out, ganyan. Kunyari we have a budget of, kunyari lang let's pretend 500 a day. So, times ko na lang ng 30 days, di ba? So, magkano yan? 15,000, di ba? More often than not, when I find myself exceeding the budget, it's not because I'm spending 600 a day. It's because I'm spending 500 a day, and then one day, I'll spend 2,000.
Splurge.
Bigla na lang, anong nangyari dito? Ito yung nung lumabas kami, nag-inom, something like that, di ba? So, obviously, those are okay. But then, you should tell yourself, my budget, if I'm going to spend 2,000 on a weekend, diba? Because I'm hanging out with friends, again, in a non-COVID world, then maybe I shouldn't be spending 500 a day. Maybe I should just be spending 400 or whatever. You do the math, diba? Maybe 300 a day para I have my leftover going out. So I actually split pa my categories into subcategories. So kunyari, my food, diba? Meron siyang yung normal eating out, and then meron din ako yung parang going out, yung lalabas, diba? Parang gano'n, exactly, diba? Kasi right, na that you're not going to spend a normal amount, but you have to allocate a budget for that kasi that's a part of your life, diba? That's a normal activity. Same thing with groceries, for example. When I do my groceries sa SNR, syempre you buy your things, diba? And then, let's say, mapabili ka ng, for those of you who drink, mapabili ka ng alak, mapabili ka ng some whiskey na 2,000, 2,500, diba? Is that part of your groceries? It's not, diba? Kasi it's not normal. So I create a separate category for your
indulgent
vices, ganyan, diba? Absolutely. Vices. Exactly, something like that. Kasi it's not represented, although you bought it in a grocery, diba, it's really not part of your monthly grocery. So I
Mhm.
try to be I try to be as detailed as I can. My entertainment budget, for example. So I have the movies. Well, back to the name. If you guys remember what movie houses are, yung naupo kayo and you watch a movie and you have popcorn.
I've heard about them.
Yeah, nakita ko sa museum. Anyway, so you have your movies, then you have your sports, ganyan, di ba? I have like my Netflix there. If you guys go to the well, it's not entertainment, pero kunyari, if you go to the gym, di ba, mga ganun, those sorts of things, di ba? Try to be realistic really on how you break down your categories.
Mm-mm.
Obviously, you can't track all, and it becomes very tedious nga when you try to list down talaga each one category for everything. It doesn't have to be that way. I also have a category for others, di ba? Like, I budget lang, kunyari, wala lang, you can't foresee everything, di ba? Maflatan ka ng gulong, you need to, kunyari,
get that vulcanized.
do something, exactly,
Or
di ba?
buy a new wheel, no? Or
Exactly, those sorts of things, di ba? Or, which also goes back to, maybe if I could bring up another point, di ba? It's you have to be mindful of the realities then of spending, di ba? You can't budget everything, di ba? People will also make emotional purchases, di ba? Which are okay, di ba? You could, like for example, a new car. While everyone, all material will tell you not to buy a new car, it's better to buy second hand, ganun, di ba? You have to realize that the reality here is that your car, your first car, di ba, is an emotional purchase. So, that's okay as long as it's budgeted for. When you're in a relationship and then, di ba, you get a breakup, what do some people do? They go shopping, di ba? Mga ganyan. They go binge shopping, di ba? And that's okay, di ba? There are really realities to spending that will not be captured completely in your budget, di ba? And even your family, di ba? Sometimes your family might need help, di ba? Somebody would get sick or something, di ba? Parang ganyan, di ba? You can't, di ba? If somebody asks for help, sabihin mo, sorry, wala ka sa budget, di ba? So, the reality is, di ba? But don't be sad, di ba? But at least know, di ba? You know na, these things happen. I need to be some way, di ba? Those need to be in the budget in some way, di ba?
Alam mo, I agree dun sa sinabi ni sige.
Teka, natin to. Sabi ni Anna Gutierrez Toralba, that makes a lot of sense. I often wonder why our grocery is way over budget when I only bought a few things.
Kami ng alak. Yeah.
Yes, oo. Ganun nga nangyayari. Okay, partner tuloy. What was your question?
Ayun, yun yung sinasabi kanina ni Dave na parang dapat may budget din tayo for going out with friends. Kasi parang, actually, kapag gumagawa ka ng budget, hindi mo siya iisipin na parang, hindi mo siya naiisip, di ba? Parang ang budget mo kasi usually is basic lang. Like, kunwari, food, ganyan, transportation, ganyan. Tapos hindi mo naiisip na on a weekend pala, nung wala pang COVID nung on a weekend pala lalabas ka, kakain ka sa labas with friends, diba ganyan. So what I did was katulad ng ginawa ni Dave na parang sa akin naman, meron akong leisure budget. Parang on a weekend, whatever I do, maybe I watch a movie or maybe I eat out with friends, pero I have a budget for that. Kasi parang, pero kasi at the beginning, parang magigilty ka na parang, I have to spend this much? Should I spend this much for just, enjoying myself? Pero, wag tayong mag-guilty and maging realistic nga tayo. Kasi totoo naman gumagastos tayo ng gano'n, diba? So, might as well, jot it down, diba?
And I would also suggest, have a separate clothing and shopping budget. Clothing, we all need clothes, no? Yung mga clothes natin naluluma, nasisira, etc. If you have a budget, then you wouldn't feel bad buying new clothes every month kasi diba? It's we need clothes, diba? And then
Mm-mm.
separate it for other shopping, diba? I don't know.
Mm.
Sometimes you want to buy a little thing for yourself, a little gadget, whatever, diba?
Mm-mm.
Go ahead,
Yes.
put it in your budget. And if you don't spend it, ako if I don't spend it, you can
Carry
do.
over.
Well, pwede. You can either do one of two things. You could carry it over to the future months, i-spread mo siya,
Mhm.
or you can just tell yourself, yay, I have,
I
kunyari,
saved.
whatever, 5,000 pesos saved, di ba? Parang ganon, di ba?
Mm-mm.
But it won't affect your budget negatively, definitely.
Mm-mm. And also a grooming budget, especially for girls. Diba? There should be a grooming budget for cutting your hair, for having your hairs done, for having your hair colored or whatever, for your nails done, ganyan. Kailangan 'yun. Kailangan mag-set ng budget.
Ang kilay.
Kilay. Yan.
And one thing I often overlook then is my gifts budget, di ba? Even if
Oh yes.
separate paying sa family kasi family mo you know naman when your family's birthdays are, di ba? So that's budgeted. But every month there's something. Parang buying things for others, di ba? Whether it's an inaanak, pamangkin, or the people who work for you, or the guys in the lobby, the guards, mga ganun, di ba? If you want to get them something, sometimes food lang, whatever, di ba? Then it makes sense to have a monthly gift budget. Otherwise, you'll always be scrambling and asking yourself, saan ko kukunin yung pambayad ko dito, di ba? So, those sorts of things, then, if you know na may budget ka, it's much easier to give when you know na, kumbaga, it's already been spent anyway, it's already been budgeted.
True.
So you just have to use it up.
Exactly.
So, what do you think is one of the reasons bakit other people can't budget or they can't even start? Is it because the process is too tedious or mahirap masyado, or what can make people, start this habit?
That's a good question. So definitely it's tedious. Ako, I have to admit, no, I can look at numbers all day, and I love looking at mga patterns and trends, di ba? So that definitely helped. That definitely accelerated my getting into this habit. For those who might not parang share the same passion with numbers, di ba? At the end of the day, it goes back to parang meeting the goals eh. I want to buy something, and then when I see, kunyari lang I want to buy the new iPhone. I want to buy it, kunyari, 6 months from now. If I create a plan, and obviously 6 months is still 6 months, diba? But if you create a plan, and then you get to that point where 6 months from now you're able to meet that plan, diba? Then you start telling yourself, hey, this process actually worked, diba? It's my goals are more monthly nowadays, and when it comes to parang my goals are now monthly, so kumaga monthly savings yung target ko eh, so at least I can tell myself, yes, I achieved my monthly goal, diba? So maybe it starts that way. Set little goals, set small goals for yourself, baby steps, ganyan. I can't give like a solid answer on why others might have challenges, but definitely I hope that some of these tools and techniques, particularly around tracking your expenses and creating a budget, would get you there. The budget that I create pala, just to make sure parang people are across, it's an annual budget. So normally this time of the year, like now, November, December, ganyan, di ba? I already create a forecast of not my expenses for next year, but more or less how much I want to spend at a high level. It gets better in time, di ba? Once you have kunyari, a 1-month view, then you can create a 12-month view, di ba? And then if you have an annual target, let's say you want to save 500,000 pesos in 1 year, di ba? when you hit that goal at the end of next year, then you'll say, parang, wow, galing, I did it, di ba? I would have never been able to do this had I not been tracking my expenses or creating a budget, di ba? And then from there, it's no longer a habit. It's already a lifestyle. It's already a mindset as well, di ba? You start applying it na on not just your expenses but on other things as well.
Mm-hmm. Kunyari you're budgeting, no? How do you, or what's your advice kung kunyari you only have one bank account, diba? How do you manage to keep your funds intact if kunyari ganon? Do you recommend like what you said kanina na you're putting it, siguro withdrawing the whole amount, budgeting, putting all the money in different envelopes, or you just leave it there, then you just base it on I can only withdraw ganito.
I would definitely recommend having multiple bank accounts, even if it's with the same bank, diba? So the first thing I do when I get my pay is I pay myself, diba? And when I say I pay myself is, diba, how much am I going to save this month? So I take it away and already put it in that separate bank account, and what's left is what I have for my expenses. And obviously, if you've already paid yourself, then ideally you shouldn't touch that unless my emergency. I don't even have the ATM card for that. So if I want to withdraw it, I need to transfer it back to another account. Maybe that will help you from touching your savings, diba? But certainly, when I look at the money I have left, yung minus na yung I paid myself, diba? Then I'll realize, oh my God, ganito lang yung pera ko for this month, diba? And definitely, you're gonna start asking yourself, diba? Parang how do I make ends meet, diba? But what is the most effective way of spending this money? Diba? So you'll be more mindful, diba? Coffee, for example, 150 pesos for coffee. You can make your Dolce Gusto at home for 25 pesos or something, di ba? So those sorts of things. Suddenly you'll realize na, oh nga no, sometimes I might be overspending on certain things, di ba? But you might not realize if you weren't tracking your expenses at all.
Alam mo, one thing that I see na struggle talaga, kasi like Dave said, he likes numbers, diba? He can look at numbers the whole day and he likes to analyze numbers and stuff. Pero kasi there are people, mind you, there are people like me and a lot of us actually don't enjoy looking at numbers. So, ako, a big challenge for me kasi especially this is how bad it is. Like if I'm reading something, if I see numbers, my brain will shut down. Ganon siya. So talagang challenge sa akin yung I do it kasi I have to, but it's really a challenge for me to like jot down everything, take note of all the numbers and stuff. Pero yun nga, anong mapapayo mo kunwari yung mga ka-entreps natin, parang talagang challenge talaga sila sa numbers. Ako, ganun ako. Marami akong kilala, mga friends ko.
Numerically challenged people.
Maybe parang don't be afraid. Maybe baby steps nga lang. Instead of like looking at it in terms of like mga categories and expenses, maybe it might make sense like what I mentioned earlier. Why don't you just start with separating yung paying yourself first, and like separating lang the expenses, and then let's say you now have X amount of money to spend this month, diba? Let's see how that works, diba? What I mean by that is you might find yourself more challenged when you aren't able to compare the amount you're going to spend with the amount you should be spending. Then you'll start asking yourself, what can I do, 'di ba? How can I do this, 'di ba? Then the need will come Then the need
Yes.
will come for you to track
Follows na.
things, 'di ba? Otherwise, maybe maubusan ka ng pera halfway through
That's a bigger
your
challenge, diba?
exactly, 'di ba? I mean, sometimes, like I mentioned, I started this when I was in a parang moment of like trying to make ends. Hindi naman ganun ka drastic, 'di ba? Pero the times in your life where you realize na it's a luxury pala to be able to eat in mga fast food restaurants, parang ganun, 'di ba? So when I got to that point, 'di ba? That's when I realized I need to be more mindful talaga every day of how much I spend. And maybe if you don't, if one doesn't go through that drama, no, that pain, man, or that hardship, as if naman hardship. But if one doesn't go through that stress, na lang, I would say,
Effort.
then it certainly becomes more daunting, di ba? To suddenly have to do something which you don't want to do in the first place. But when you're parang backed up against a wall, and then you realize that that's really what you need to do next, diba? Then you'll get that moment of reflection, diba? And then just tell yourself na, sige na nga, try ko muna to. Then you start realizing, oh, ano, it's working. I really believe in numbers. Again, people behave according to how they are measured, whether it's through work or play or etc. Wala kayo? Am I still on the show? Anyway.
Yes. Para
okay.
Para we can focus on your
mga glittering lights, mga ganyan. But anyway, yeah, but definitely people behave according to how they're measured. So if you can't measure yourself against something, it'll be really, really hard, really be hard to adjust that behavior if that's something that you're trying to attain now, which is being more frugal, being more mindful of your spend, and basically having more money to spend or just have with you, being more financially fit.
So we have a question from Marcia Esquera. So
Marcia
what are your
Esquera.
thoughts on? Yeah, we know her.
Familiar.
What are your thoughts on insurance? Yeah, familiar, diba?
What are your thoughts on insurance? I'm going to quote my dad. My dad used to work in insurance for a long time. And then he told me, anak, sabi niya sa akin, never ever get insurance. Sabi ko, huh?
And he worked in an insurance.
He worked in insurance, di ba? Why would you tell your son not to get insurance? Sabi niya, insurance is for people daw who don't know how to make money. And I'm gonna qualify, in insurance, Marsha, I'm not sure if you're talking about health or life insurance. I'm gonna speculate na life, di ba? I might have a different view. For medical insurance, absolutely. When you're working, naman may insurance ka na, di ba? But for those who don't have insurance, you never know. It's always safer to have medical insurance. Life insurance naman, it depends on the number of people who are dependent on you. If there are people who are dependent on you and your livelihood and who will suffer if something happens to you, then absolutely get insurance, diba? If you have no dependents, if no one's lives are going to change if you die, diba? That doesn't mean you shouldn't get insurance, but at least the dependency on getting insurance would be less, diba? So, do I have insurance? Yes, I have insurance for the wrong reasons. Nabentahan ako, hindi na ako maka-back out, diba? So there. But
that
that's
was
okay.
A good friend siguro, no?
That was a good friend. Yeah, sabi niya sa akin, tagal namin din nagkikita, and then mamaya, insurance na pala. Anyway.
Dave, dinner tayo, Dave.
Oo nga eh. Diba? Kamusta ka na? Oh, diba? Exactly.
By the way, open-minded ka ba?
Exactly, mga ganyan, diba?
We have another question from Miss Erica. Sabi niya, since you mentioned that you've been doing this for 7 years, which month do you normally increase your budget on a yearly basis?
Sorry.
Because like every December, you end up spending more to buy gifts for family, friends, and dinner.
Yeah, so it's an annual budget, no? So it goes like this. So absolutely, when it comes to December, you have your holiday shopping. Normally, mga June, ganyan. So I don't have a month. I have a monthly budget, but it's different each month because I know already when the spending will come. Diba? When will I go on a trip? Diba? And I plot it in. Kaya travel. Your Holy Week travel, your whatever, June, July travel. I even plot in an October travel. Wala lang, you wanna go on a long drive, long weekend, diba? And then you plot your December travel. So your annual budget isn't a 1 month budget times 12. It really needs to be, diba? You have your normal expenses, your normal operating expenses, and then you have your other expenses where you plug in your travel, your shopping, your holiday shopping, etc. When do I increase my budget on a yearly basis? I don't. To be honest, if I look at my expenses from 2000, 2013, maybe 2015 up to now, it's still the same. And a lot of people say, diba, isn't it normal that as your salary goes up, as you make more money, that your lifestyle also goes up too? Yes, but it doesn't have to. I mean, certainly there are more conveniences in life that are more easily experienced if you can spend, diba? It may have gotten up, but not so much. Kumaga, not so much to actually have to change the budget. I would suggest against parang kung ano yung na-increase sa salary nyo as a family, to increase that then as your spend, diba? Otherwise, you're just probably spending too much on a lifestyle that wasn't naman
is not sustainable.
Not sustainable, yeah, diba? But absolutely, if there was a time of a year when I would do it, I would probably do it now. Mga ganito, November, December. As I lay forward what my 2021 budget will look like. What percentage of your salary goes to paying yourself? It depends then on how much you're making. There are certain expenses, of course, that you can't avoid, diba? Like your utilities, etc. Ganon. Again, it goes back to my comment earlier that I don't normally change my lifestyle as my income goes up. So it's the same lang. So having said that, the amount I pay myself gets bigger and bigger and bigger because I'm not spending more and more and more, diba? A good start would probably be mga 20%, 20 to 25% if you can. If not, then just start somewhere. It could be a nominal value like 5,000 or 10,000 a month, diba? And try to increase that as your income increases as well. You and your family get a raise of, let's say, 20,000. Try putting 15,000 of that into that paying yourself, and yung 5,000 lang back into the expenses, diba? So you're rewarding yourself in both ways, diba?
And it's not because you earn more that it doesn't mean that you have the diba? Parang,
it doesn't mean you have to spend.
I deserve this, diba? Parang, I have to get what I want now. But you will, but eventually you won't. So,
pag financial literacy, ang dami-dami niya kasing aspects, ang dami-dami niyang subtopics, 'di ba, na dapat pag-usapan. So, I think dapat meron pa tayong kasi 4 o'clock na eh. So, dapat meron pa tayong part 2, Dave.
Part 2? Sure. Pwede naman.
Ang dami kasi. I mean, like, diba? Yung mga nagko-comment sa atin, I'm sure they're very experienced na in budgeting and they still have things to ask, diba? So, I'm sure marami pang pwedeng pag-usapan at dapat pag-usapan pagdating sa budgeting and financial literacy. Diba?
And malamang by then, siguro, when we have you back here, na setup mo na yung ano mo, yung vlog mo.
Yung vlog ko. And yung Instagram ko.
ProfessorPera.
ProfessorPera, Instagram. Nakakahiya actually.
Ayun, may pressure na, may pressure.
Nakakahiya. Wala siyang laman, di ba? Parang meron akong followers pero wala siyang laman. Anyway.
Pero
So that's how much your followers believe in you.
Is very easy to remember and it's very catchy.
Yeah, it's an alliteration. It's like comic book, di ba? Mga identities.
You're like a superhero, Professor.
Oo nga, ganun ba? Superhero ba yung character ni Professor Pera?
Mukha siyang nerd. Kamukha ako, nakasalamin, tapos parang may necktie yata.
Ang cute.
Yeah, yan o. See, Professor Pera. And Dave.
Tapos yung avatar mo may Clark Kent lang.
Clark Kent lang. Wait, sino ba si Professor Pera? Anyway.
So yun, Dave, we want to thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We learned a lot.
Baka may last ka pa? Last reminders.
Reminders.
Me? Hindi, wala. I can talk all day. Wala. I mean, kumbaga, now that it's Christmas, di ba? Everybody, you get your 13th month pay, etc. Sige, don't spend it all, di ba? Save half. That's my when you get a lump sum of money, whether it's your 13th month or your annual incentive bonus, whatever, or your leave entitlements, leave encashments, diba? Reward yourself, but save half. Diba? And then, siguro next na yung, okay, nagsasave nga ako, what am I going to do with these savings? Yan, mga investments na yan, diba? Next na yan.
Investments.
Save na ako ng pera, hindi ka naman nagagastos. What kind of life is this, diba? Worth living. Pero that's for another
time. Is it good to just keep your money in the bank or put it somewhere else?
Yeah.
I think that's a good topic, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How much cash should you have, diba? Your revolving fund, mga those sorts of things. There.
Yep.
Perfect advice, no? Lalo na ngayon may mga makakakuha ng 13th month, no? And other benefits. So, Dave, thank you very much for being part of the show and for sharing your knowledge with everyone. No? And we really appreciate your being here and taking the time, to help others. So we'll have you again.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Of course, diba? And I will take up, who was that? Who said they will help me with digital marketing, etc. Si Pao, yeah, di ba? On that offer. Kasi wala feeling ko masyado na akong old school. Nagbabasa ng blog. Anyway.
Sabi ko nga sa'yo, dapat yung mga bite-size na lang na info. Para
diba?
Pwede mo iba to sa Facebook na.
Exactly.
So there, okay. Dave, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dave.
We'll see you again.
Thanks, guys. All right, take care.
Alrighty.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
So there. And that was hold on. And that was Dave Torcuator, no? Ang dami talaga nating information, no, malalaman. Lalo na pag sa financial literacy, maraming techniques, maraming hacks, maraming workarounds, and of course, maraming habit-forming skills na kailangan mong gawin. So, yun. So,
kasi pag hindi mo siya ginawa, tama yung sinasabi ni Dave, na alam mo yun, though I'm struggling, I am trying to do it. Kasi alam ko na pag hindi ko siya ginawa, talagang before talaga ako dun sa point na, ay, saan naman tayo pera ko? Diba? So, pag hindi mo talaga siya, pag yung sinasabi ni Dave, na pag hindi mo tinrack, you will never know. Kasi makakalimutan mo na yun eh. Once you spent your money, it's lost, it's gone, and you will forget it already. So, yun. It's always good that you have a record. And it is very handy if you have an app. Yun. And ako, actually, ang dami ko ng app na nagamit kasi sa akin, number one yung interface, yung user interface niya. Kasi it has to be easy to use. Diba? Of course. Right. Kasi ang dami-dami mo kung pinipindot para lang mag-key in ng numbers, diba? So yun, yung interface yung una sa akin kung madali siyang gamitin. Tapos yun, at the end of the day, I've tried a lot. Ngayon, I'm using Money. Money yung app na ginagamit ko ngayon.
Okay.
So yun,
So tapos
I
you were
even
saying at the end of the day,
at the end of the day, you get to see what you spent on. Ako, everyday tinitignan ko na pagkain talaga.
ako one of my hacks is kunyari 'di ba katulad nito may padating na 12-12 no yung shopping na naman to. I just put everything in the shopping cart 'di ba? So parang isa-save mo lang siya. Tapos if you can i-click mo yung check out all but don't buy it you just click on the check out all, then you're gonna see the total amount that will be checked out. Kung kunyari binili mo lahat ng nasa cart mo, then makikita mo na
crazy.
Holy,
what?
So parang, do I really need all of this? Do I imagine if I bought everything here? But sometimes it helps, no? Parang window shopping din kasi ang dating niya na parang feeling mo.
Relaxing siya eh.
Diba?
So, relaxing
titignan mo lang,
siya.
pero huwag mo na bilhin. So,
wait, partner, give me a minute. I want to show the money wallet that I have. I-share ko lang.
Okay.
So, yung walang naman. Wait lang.
So yun. So yan, si Faith will be checking show and tell tayo ngayon quickly.
Sorry.
And medyo nadapalong siya. But
narinig
so,
ba? I have actually, ang dami kong ganito, yung divider.
Okay. Oo.
Ganyan
yes, actually.
Ganito siya. I have a lot. So this is one. Wala siyang laman kasi iba-iba yung purpose niya. So like, this is for a shoot. Say, I'm going out for a shoot and I have to budget the funds. So I have the money for transportation, for the crew and stuff. So yun, you can...
Isang bunot lang.
Like, para hindi ka mag-overspend. Right. So like, kunwari, yung pambayad ko ng crew, nandiyan, yung for food will be here. So, alam mo yun, tas may notes. So, that's one. Ay, meron pa ako isa. Madami yan eh. Tapos yung isa pa yung ginagamit ko na for personal use. So, ganyan siya. So, ito, ayan. Dati ginagamit ko to. So, may nakalagay na lunch money. When I was working in a company, ayan. Yan, ganyan siya. Meron siyang lunch money, meron siyang social, di ba? Meron pa akong socialization. Meron akong budget for socialization. Kasi you want to go out, you want to go out with friends, di ba? Na parang, meron akong budget for grooming. Wait lang.
So pag niyaya ka, Faith, tara, labas tayo. Ay, wala na akong budget for socialization.
Ayan, grooming.
Grooming and ano yung puti?
Ayoko, hindi ko papakita. Ayun. Tapos,
may budget din yun.
So lahat may budget. Ayun.
Diba?
Kasi kailangan. Diba?
So that's a great workaround. No?
So yun.
Otherwise,
mura lang to. Pakimind. Mura lang to. Ito binili ko yata sa National Bookstore. Less than 100. It's very useful.
Okay. So that's a good workaround. Lalo na when you're handling money. We have a comment. When you're handling money. No? Ito, sabi ni Anna. Excel works for me. Old school.
Excel.
Okay. As the expense app. Yep. That will really show you nga naman on a spreadsheet, no, na how much you're earning, and it's since naka-spreadsheet nga siya, mas madali mo makita mag-group per month. So sabi ni Erica, that's what we use to set aside bill payments. Yeah, tama. Yung ginagamit mo rin, partner.
Tapos meron, alam mo, pag nag ka sa Lazada at Shopee, if you want to be a little fashionista about segregating your money, pag pupunta ka ng bangko tapos gusto mong maganda yung lalagyan, may mga money wallet doon ang gaganda.
Talaga? It's called a money wallet.
It's called money wallet.
Okay.
Money wallet, parang gano'n. Money organizer, gano'n. Sorry. Money organizer.
Okay. Tapos may mga fashion na siya. So yan, guys, no? I mean, I guess that's all the time we have for today. But before we go, we'd like to thank again our guests, no? That's Miss Nami Tadeo and Mr. Dave Torcuator, no? I hope nakatulong and it helped you learn more things, no, about lalo na financial literacy and about the business of skincare, no. And so yun, partner.
Yun. We want to thank also our ka-entreps who joined us during the show, who commented, who asked questions. Yun. We thank you so much kasi kahit Sunday and masarap mag-chill, ganyan, or go somewhere else kasi pwede nang lumabas, partner eh. You're still joining us this afternoon. Ayan.
Definitely. And of course, thank you to our production team. We have Karen, Rian, Pao, and Julie Pearl, and yung bago nating member, si Jeff, no? Si Sir Jeff.
Sir Jeff. Oh, abangan niyo si Sir Jeff sa EntrepRadio. Yan. You will see him. Surprise kung anong gagawin niya. Pero you will see him on EntrepRadio. And of course, we wanna thank our voice master, si Sir Pocholo de Leon Gonzalez. Sir Choi, thank you so much.
And if you'd like to be our next guest here on EntrepRadio, just send us a message. Tell us something a little about your company, what you do, your service, and what makes and what happened to you, lalo na nung COVID. How did you quarantine and how did you surpass it? No.
Mm-mm. And also, if you're interested to be a voiceover artist, batch 5 of the Certified Voice Artist program is open. It will start on January 2021, but the slots are starting to fill up na. So might as well start. Contact. Asa ba yung mga contact numbers?
Oh, sorry. Here. Or you can just email or visit the site.
Ayan.
certifiedvoiceartist.com.
Yes. Visit the website. So, yun.
And watch out for the next show, the Microphone Club. If you're an online host or you're a performer, join the Microphone Club. Ito naman for that community. Syempre nga, kasi medyo nahirapan ngayon. But there are ways around it. So, watch for it sa The Microphone Club with Miss Karshi, Mr. Vin Chico, and Miss Lady Andreguera at 6 p.m. every Sunday. So that's later.
Yep, 2 hours from now.
Okay. So guys, sa pamumuno ng isa sa pinakakilalang influential speaker sa buong Pilipinas, Pocholo, the Voice Master Gonzalez, ma-inspire at ma-inform sa talakayan ng inyong mga ka-entrep sa online radio kasama ang inyong lingkod, Rene, the On-Voice Toralba.
At ako naman po si Faith, the Voice Pastrana. Hatid po ito sa inyo ng Creative Voices Productions na medyo garal-gal pa yung boses. Halatang puyat.
Sabado night kasi. Oo.
Creative Vision Studios, VG8 Radio, Voice from Home, and the Voice Master Channel. This is EntrepRadio Online, the voice of Filipino entrepreneurs.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye!
Inyong natunghayan ng isa na namang edisyon ng EntrepRadio Online. Samahan niyo muli kami sa susunod na linggo, 2:00 hanggang 4:00 ng hapon, sa paghahatid sa inyo ng napapanahong kaalaman sa pagsisimula ng inyong pangkabuhayan. Brought to you by Creative Voices Productions, Creative Vision Studio, VG8 Radio, Voice from Home, Voice Acting Project, at ng The Voice Master Channel. Inyong nakasama ang inyong mga lingkod na sina Rene, the On-Voice Toralba, at Faith, the Voice Pastrana. At ito ang
EntrepRadio Online,
the voice of Filipino entrepreneurs. Don't forget to like our Facebook page, EntrepRadio, and to always watch VG8 Radio.